All 6 of the names in this video will be the best value wide receiver breakout candidates for 2025. These can be league winners, guys that will return so much value. This first name is currently ranked as wide receiver 27, and he could be as high as 18 points per game in 2025. These guys are league winners, and you're not going to want to miss it. Smash the like button, smash the subscribe button for more fantasy football content to help you crush the competition, crush your league mates, and take them all down. First name, Mr. Gambling, Mr. Betting, Mr. Sportsbook himself. It's Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley has never really had a decent, amazing quarterback. Calvin Ridley now is the first overall draft pick in the draft. Looking at Calvin Ridley's career, obviously 2021 he only played 5 games, 2022 he was suspended. Every other season, he's been around 15 games played or more, 17 games played the last 2 seasons. Now, the last 2 seasons, he was wide receiver 25 and wide receiver 39. He's had some bad quarterback play, Mason Rudolph, Will Levis. The buzz around camp is that Calvin Ridley is he's more bought in, more motivated, more driven. Why? Well, now he's a bit more of a veteran presence. He's been in the year, he's played, he's been in the year since 2018, so really that's like 7 years. So now he's a bit more of a mentor. They have a younger receiving core there besides Tyler Lockett. But he's more bought in because they might be able to actually make some noise this year now that they have the number 1 overall draft pick. Calvin Ridley did still have 12 points per game in 2024 with the worst quarterback play of all time. He had a 24% team target share, and his yards per out run still wasn't that bad at 1.9. In 2020, in his prime, before the injury in 2021, before the suspension, before all that crap, 2.5 yards per out run. We could see Calvin Ridley go back to the 92 receiving yards per game that he had in 2020 if he has some touchdown progression this year. Again, in 2023 with Jacksonville, he had 1 touchdown every 2 games. In 2024, the deep threat for the Titans was Nick Westbrook-Akine. He was the one scoring the touchdowns. Calvin Ridley had 1 touchdown every 5 games, some positive touchdown improvement. I think Calvin Ridley has the chance to really be like a top 15 wide receiver option on ESPN. He's currently being drafted as the wide receiver 27, ADP of 57. He's going after Devontae Smith, after Zay Flowers, after Xavier Worthy, which is wild. I mean, Devontae Smith, I definitely understand the value and the upside, but he's the wide receiver 2 behind A.J. Brown. Calvin Ridley can be an alpha wide receiver. I like him a lot in all formats. In best ball, he's ADP 67. Smash that. Calvin Ridley is one of my most drafted wide receivers. Next name number 2, Jameson Williams. Now, you boys know I'm big into dynasty as well. I have Jamo in one of my dynasty leagues. I'm tempted to trade him, but I'm not going to because this is the season where Jameson Williams shows us what he's made of. 2022, 2023, all field issues, blah, 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 injuries. Obviously, he gets drafted, injured. It's a long-term hold. 2024, he finally comes out, 14.1 PPR points per game. He plays 80% of the snaps, but was it because of the offensive coordinator getting him involved? They lose the offensive coordinator. People are saying, oh, what if the Lions take a step back? Well, their coach is not going to change. Again, Jameson Williams, he only had an 18.9 target share percent of his offense, and he was still able to give you 14 points per game. Problem with that is that he did have 1 touchdown every 2 games, which is pretty high. His receptions per game, only 3.9 receptions per game on average. He's really boom or bust. So in best ball formats, where he's currently getting drafted at 60, I like Jameson Williams a lot in best ball, where you're going to get, like, looking at his stats, like week 1, 24, week 3, 1. Week 6, 17, week 7, 0. Looking at his final couple weeks, week 16 and 17, he had 25 each week, and week 18, he had 9.4 in a big game versus Minnesota. So it's definitely going to be some volatility with Jameson Williams in your lineup. Like, he can help you win a week, he'll lose you a week for sure. I don't know if you want that on your redraft team, but he does have the potential to step into a more consistent role in this offense. Again, 19% target share, not really hard to improve upon that. Next name on the list is Mr. Ted McMillan, and we're also going to combine him with somebody else. So Ted McMillan, rookie wide receiver prospect. Bryce Young, is Bryce Young going to continue the positive trajectory that we saw at the end of last season? Honestly, I still think the Panthers' offense is trash, but I still am in on Ted McMillan. I'm in on McMillan, I'm in on Hubbard, but Ted McMillan, he looks like a Drake London prospect, looks like a George Pickens type prospect. He's going to win the, the point of catch. He'll win at the point of the catch, aggressive catches, spectacular catches. I forget what it's called, man. Catches in traffic, I think it's called. But T-Mac will return value. He's currently getting drafted behind some wide receiver twos. Like Xavier Worthy should not be in the same tier as Ted McMillan when Xavier Worthy, only averaged like 10 points in his rookie season. Combining Ted McMillan with another rookie, we have Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter could be the best wide receiver prospect of the 2024 draft. And if he's playing mostly wide receiver, which it sounds like he's going to get a good amount of snaps on wide receiver listen, the Jaguars wide receiver 2 is Dyami Brown. You really think they're going to leave Travis Hunter on defense and have Trevor Lawrence passing to, again, Brennan Strange, Dyami Brown, and BTJ. BTJ is great, but Dyami Brown and Brennan Strange, no. So Travis Hunter will be getting snaps on offense. A lot of them. He's currently ADP of 46 on Best Ball when I'm recording this. Looking at Travis Hunter on ESPN Redraft. In redraft leagues, you have Ted McMillan, wide receiver 33, Travis Hunter, wide receiver 34, at ADP of 65, 66. I'll take both of them. Give me both. Both, send them my way. This guy could have a Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase rookie season and win your league. Next two names, Josh Downs. Now, Josh Downs is an interesting one. He had a 2.2 yards per route run in 2024. He went from 9 points per game in 2023 all the way up to 13 in 2024. Everything improved in 2024 except for one thing. He played less. So he was on the field less, yet his target share rose 8% in between the years. That's a good sign. Now, you could say that the Pittman injury had some stuff to do with it. Pittman's already been banged up. I'm not worried at all about Josh Downs regressing because of the quarterback play. Josh Downs, I think, has a chance to be the wide receiver 1 in this offense. Now, I don't see alpha potential. I'm not going to go ahead and say, all right, Josh Downs is going to be 20 points per game. I don't see that in the realm of possibilities. But I do see a world in which Josh Downs averages 15, 16 PPR points per game this year, and he does return value because currently getting drafted as the wide receiver 73 on Best Ball. I actually have seen him raising up in ADP in some of the drafts that I've been in. He's currently wide receiver 51 and 112 on ESPN ADP, which is where in your redraft league, go ahead and take him in round 7, round 8, ahead of ADP and win your league. Josh Palmer is the final name. Josh Palmer, a former third-round pick. People think he's a veteran, he's old. This guy was drafted in 2021. Had really 1 or 2 decent years, I guess, with LA. 2022 and 2023, he averaged 10.5 and 10.6 PPR points per game. Wide receiver 41, wide receiver 43 finishes. In Best Ball, he's currently getting drafted as an ADP of 163. That is an extremely low ADP, but in your redraft league, he's getting drafted as the wide receiver 76 with an ADP of 204, basically undrafted. So this guy, besides 2024, the year when the Chargers got McConkey, big Q, Quentin Johnston breakout, besides the year where they were phasing Josh Palmer out, the 3 prior years, Josh Palmer was the wide receiver 40. Now, in a redraft league, that's not going to do you much good because, wide receiver 40, you don't really want that on your team, but 10 points per game is still debatably flex play. I'm making a bet that Josh Palmer could be the wide receiver 1 on the Bills' offense. Maybe wide receiver 2. Or Khalil Shakir, he's obviously going to be the main guy, and I acknowledge that I'm not a hater, but you should also acknowledge that Shakir's not going to be an alpha. Shakir's going to be more of a fast, shifty, high, slot type guy, whereas they need a big body red zone threat. Keon Coleman, not a great rookie minicamp, some drops, some volatility. Last year he dealt with injuries. Josh Palmer could turn into that guy with Josh Allen. Josh Allen loves to gunsling the ball around the field. So those are the 6 wide receiver breakouts you need to be aware of. Smash the like button, smash the subscribe button. Thanks for watching. Go win your league.